It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Fresno State Associate Head Women's Basketball Coach, Coach Mandi Carver. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to become a college basketball coach?
I was really fortunate in growing up with a father who was a high school football coach. So I was always in the gym. I always had access to the gym. I would spend my Sundays helping him break down film at a young age. And I think that I don't know that there was really something else for my future, other than coaching. And I saw the impact that he was able to make on young people's lives. And I really respected that and loved being able to see that. And I think that drove me into coaching.
What was it like playing for Iowa State?
Idaho State. It was a great experience. I left home at a young age, but I was still close enough to home. So I was able to have my family and friends watch me play. And I think that really helped my career because I had that support network. And, I was able to go to a program that hadn't won, and we were able to change that in the time I was there, and ended up having one of the best seasons in the history of women's basketball there. We went undefeated in conference and went to the NCAA tournament my junior year.
What was it like, obviously, having the all-time record for scoring and rebounds?
I learned at a young age that if you rebound the basketball, you're going to win a lot of games. And I'm very competitive. And knowing that if we got rebounds, we would win really drove me to get rebounds. So, and with that, scoring, I like to say, I like to tell people my freshman year, I had 11 assists total for the entire season. So that says that I did not pass the ball at all. So if I got the ball, it was going up. So I think, looking at ending my career with being the leading scorer was due to the fact that I probably didn't pass the ball too much.
What was it like coming out of college, going into the WNBA and playing internationally?
It was something that at that time, I don't even know that I realized that was something that I would have the ability to do. The WNBA was newer. It hadn't been around very long. So it wasn't something that I had grown up and seen a lot of people do. As it happened, it was such an incredible experience to be surrounded by the best female women's basketball players in the world, and that competitiveness, and I would walk into the gym every day and just be in awe of the women I was surrounded by. And I have a ton of pictures from my time in the WNBA, and I have one where Cheryl Swoops is guarding me, and that is such a cool memory and a cool experience to think that, gosh, I had one of the best all-time female basketball players guarding me at one moment. So such a great experience. And I was able to also play in Europe for 7 years, and really incredible to spend my 20s playing basketball, getting paid to do that, and travel the world. Like, you just can't ask for a better time.
Of course, coming off of your professional career, what was it like getting into college coaching and getting your first job at San Diego State?
I was at Bakersfield, my first job, and it was such a change because I had I didn't realize that getting into college coaching meant you had an office and you had paperwork. And I thought, like, you coach, you go to the gym, you do drills, you watch film, that kind of thing. I didn't realize all of the like office work. And so that was a big change because I had just spent, my entire 20s in a gym, working out, getting shots up, playing games, watching film. And now I had to be at a desk in an office. So that was a bit tough the first few months, but I learned to love it, and I learned to love the work in the office because I knew that it made being in the gym so much more special.
What was it like coaching at Bakersfield?
It was tough because that year we were not in a conference. So we were an independent that had come up from Division II, but not in a conference. So we had, I think, something like 20 road games that season. And it was tough. We went from, Oregon to Florida to Virginia. We were all over the country because it's hard to find games when you're not in a conference, especially in January and February. So really fun to kind of travel around, and we were really, really good. We went to the championship of the WBI and lost by I think like 6 or 7 points that year. So such a great experience for my first year in coaching.
What was it like going to San Jose State?
It was nice because we were in a conference and the facilities were a little bit better. It was a city. The school was located right downtown, so kind of an urban campus, so a bit different than my time at Bakersfield. And it had football, and Bakersfield didn't. So kind of that next step of that big time sports atmosphere. And it felt like that. Big change though, because again, it was a program that hadn't done well at the time, and having to, going from a team that had just won to a team that hadn't won, definitely a different feel, and trying to instill that winning culture and what that meant and the work ethic that it took to win and win at a high level. I think it was a great experience for me to see and to be a part of, and to know that you can build something. It takes some time. You have to be a little bit patient, and but with hard work, you can have some success.
What was it like coming from there to go to Francisco State?
So being at Fresno State, it is a big time college program. I think we have had some of the best professional athletes play at Fresno State. You have an Aaron Judge, a Paul George, a Derek Carr. So this place is set up for a lot of success. Again, with the facilities, with the community support, we have great fan attendance. And it makes it really fun for females to play in that atmosphere of playing in front of, 3,000 to 5,000 fans, and in a community that supports you, knows who you are, cheers for you. Everywhere you go in Fresno, they have Bulldog gear. It's great to walk into a Target or a Walmart or a CVS and you see everyone wearing Fresno State stuff. They're selling it. So just a great community to be in. And again, a culture of winning has been established within the program and within the city of Fresno. And it makes it so fun to go to work and live in that community.
What was it like coming to Fresno as an assistant coach and now in 2020 becoming the associate head coach?
I think that was something that I had set as a career goal for mine when I got into this profession, to move up and get that title and learn the game and have more responsibility. It is a little bit of a different role because it becomes more about managing people. I think just as a head coach is a little bit more about managing people. You get, unfortunately, to do less of the fun stuff and more of the tough stuff. You get more of that responsibility, which is, what you want. But again, you're moving further and further away from the the basketball things, on the court, which I think every coach loves to be on the court, work with the athletes. It kind of becomes more administrative, responsibilities and roles. But something that I have loved and fortunate to be in that situation.
What are some of the things that you've accomplished so far at Fresno State?
We have done well. Last year, we went to the second round of the WNIT. We beat Missouri in the first round, and during a COVID year with so many things that were difficult last year, the fact that we were able to get through that and have success at the end of the season, I think a huge accomplishment. We've been in 4 Mountain West Championship games. Unfortunately, we've come up short 4 times. So we're hopeful that the 5th time is the charm. And we'll be able to kind of get that win in that big game at the right, get it all clicking at the right time. And that's kind of what we're focused on right now. But being in a program that has consistently won and won at a high level has been, I think, a really good accomplishment to sustain that success. It's a lot of work, and not a lot of people have the ability to work that hard to continue to win and sustain the winning culture.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you have helped build?
Yeah, we have had a lot of great players come through here, and a lot of players from around the world. And that diversity of thought and style of play, I think, has really helped our team grow and the players grow. And, we've had players from Australia to Europe to Mexico, all over the United States as well. And they have all brought something different, and getting them to mix and mold and respect each other and play with each other and, continue to grow as young women. And also that to have them continue friendships that will be, throughout the rest of their lives, I think is something that I love to see, and I love to be a part of that.
Of course, who are some of the teams that you faced in your conference?
So our conference is, I like to say, one of the top conferences in the West Coast, because we have such a kind of range of locations and teams. And we have San Jose State, who we're going to be playing tomorrow. We have San Diego State. We have UNLV. We have Boise State. We have Colorado State, New Mexico, Nevada, Reno, Air Force, and Wyoming. So it's, like I said, and Utah State, a pretty diverse conference in terms of locations. We're going from Colorado to New Mexico to Nevada, and then up and down the coast of California. So again, really fun, competitive conference to be in, and a lot of great arenas and a lot of great fans. I mean, we'll go to New Mexico and they'll have crazy screaming 7,000 fans. We'll go to Colorado State. They'll have similar fan experiences. So again, really great environment and atmosphere for our women to get to play in front of.
Was it like, obviously, traveling to like New Mexico Air Force?
It's a little bit difficult for us in California, because we're continually going to elevation when we're traveling to New Mexico, to Air Force, to Colorado State, Wyoming, some of the highest elevation in the U.S. for places to play. And every time that we go to some of those places, it's kind of funny. They make sure that they have signs posted everywhere. If you're lightheaded or out of breath, make sure you sit down and rest. And before we play in Wyoming, there's a whole announcement about how high it is there, and if you're dizzy and, you could experience shortness of breath. It's kind of all a mind game and kind of funny. Our freshmen, the first time they see that, their eyes get like huge, like, oh my goodness, am I going to pass out? Can I not breathe? And, they have oxygen tanks in the locker room for us. So it's kind of funny, but a little bit of a challenge for us because we're at sea level. And every time we go there, it takes a minute to adjust. Usually the first quarter, the first time out, they're all like, a little bit out of breath, but they get their second wind pretty quickly.
What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes looking to play college women's basketball?
I think it's starting at a younger and younger age, and making sure that they are doing their homework on the program, the coaches, the place, as well as, it works both ways, developing the relationship, making sure that it's the right fit and the right style of play for that player and what they're looking for. I think a lot of times people don't take into account the style of play, and they get somewhere and they're like, oh, but I thought I was going to do this and now I'm not. And that's where you get a lot of unhappiness and people leaving and transferring, unfortunately. So I think the more you can do at a younger age, and visiting campuses and checking out communities and towns and going to games, and getting to know the area, the school, and making sure that it's academically a fit as well. There's a lot of places that may not have the program or the study that you're interested in. And I think making sure that academically it's a fit is really important as well.
What does the official visit look like for prospective student athletes looking to go to Fresno State?
Well, it's 48 hours of food and fun. And, we like to say it's time to eat again. It's a lot of eating, a lot of, making sure that they know where they're going to live and they're comfortable with that the families feel like they're safe and taken care of, and the athlete hanging out with the team and getting to know their future teammates. And make a lot of times that'll be a football game or it'll be one of our games. So they get to see that fan experience. They get to see kind of, all of the hoopla that goes into game day, either with football or volleyball or one of our games. Hopefully by that point, they've taken an unofficial visit and they've seen one of our games and they've seen one of our practices. So they have a really good sense of what, their next few years will look like.
What is it like, obviously, seeing them put on that red jersey on the official visit and make sure they feel at home in it?
Yeah, I think that's always really fun to do the photo shoot and see them. They put the uniform on and the parents have like a shirt that they put on. And, it's so fun because they see themselves, they see their future and they get really excited about that. And as do we. I think that's one of the special times during a visit that you can just, see kind of all of their hard work and their hopes and the parents' dreams all come together as one in those moments.
Of course, what advice would you give prospective student athletes looking to play college basketball?
I think that there are so many levels that is available, and especially for women. And the opportunity to continue playing in college is so special and such a fun experience that a lot of times I think it can be stressful in the recruiting process, but it's all like, it's such a great experience. And so that's such a great 4 to 5 years that I think they sometimes let it get, a little overwhelming in the recruiting process, a little too stressful, but there's really not a wrong answer. I like to say, you get to play college basketball, you get to be around 15 amazing young women that are going to be your best friends, whether you want them to or not. That's just how it goes, and have a great experience. So I think that it sometimes can become, more than it really needs to be, because it's you can't go wrong with any place that you pick for the most part and any level that you pick.
What advice would you give those college women's basketball players looking to go into the WNBA or play overseas?
I think that everyone should aspire to do that. It makes, your time in college, I think, more valuable. If you have that goal to continue to play after college, you take it a little more seriously. You enjoy the practices a little bit more because you have that end goal of wanting to continue to play. And I think that you have to love it, because it's a job. Once in college, it is a job, but it's literally your job if you decide to continue to play in Europe, or, if you're fortunate enough to make it to the WNBA, it is your job and you have to produce. And if you don't, they will find someone who will. And so, really taking care of your body, I think is really, really important, because, your body is your product and you need that longevity to continue to play. And I think that is something, especially in college, like freshmen, sophomores, they don't understand the value of taking care of their body because they still feel pretty good. And as you start to get older, you realize that you need, that recovery, that rest, and for your mental health as well, being fresh and excited and not, overwhelmed or overworked. You really need that break and that separation for your body and your mind. And if kids can learn to do that at a younger age, they'll have a way better, healthier career. And then when they're old like me, going up and down the stairs won't hurt as bad.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to get started in the industry?
I think you really have to love it. You really have to love basketball. You have to love, getting to know people. You have to love talking and building relationships and, being available 24/7, even though that's probably not the most healthy, lifestyle, but that's what we do. We're available to talk to kids anytime, day or night, Saturday, Sunday, morning, whatever they need. If they call and they need something, we have to be there for them. And I think that it's a privilege to have that opportunity to be able to be there for these young women as they're growing into adults and help them, kind of make sure that they're staying on the right path and help them through some of these tough times and decisions in their life. It's such a great profession, but you have to love it. You can't just be like, oh, I want to be a coach because I think it's cool. No, it's a lifestyle. And I'm fortunate enough that I get to do that every day.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Fresno State women's basketball program?
Yeah. So my Twitter is Mandi B. Carver. My Instagram is at Coach Mandi Carver. And then the Fresno State women's basketball Twitter is Fresno State WBB, and the same for Instagram. And we have lots of fun stuff on there, from getting to know our players to coaches to people that work within our organization and, fun facts throughout the games and within the community.
Thank you again, Coach Mandi Carver, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Fresno State.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Mandi Carver, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.